probably a little bit more one-dimensional than probably it liked. So nice job by those guys. We didn't execute well. Don't understand all the penalties that we had. And we've had some weeks where we've been real sloppy. Some weeks, one game, I think we had one penalty for the whole game. It was an offside call today. We had load penalties. We got to work on that. Didn't turn it over. Didn't create any. Had a few drives that bogged down the defense. We no stops. That's kind of what I saw.
What all went into the decision to start Trey, I guess, and what you like from what you saw?
Well, again, it's just, early in the year we decided to play him, and as we played, some games got close, and in practicing a couple, 3 guys, reps, and being a lot of whack as a young guy, just our trust factor. As he's played, gotten in a few more games, he definitely showed a calmness in games, and it looked like the more he's played the last 2 weeks, the better he's practiced, and he kind of just has had a better week of practice. I thought a week ago, going into our game a week ago, it was kind of equal, but Ed, having played more, you go with the more experienced guy. He looked like he handled the situation in Wisconsin. He's a very calm kid. He really hadn't hurt us in any communication. He's took care of the ball in a decent way. He's got a long way to go, but just the way he's practiced, thought he'd give us the best chance, and he was decent. He's got a lot of work to do to be a good player, but he's, they're both, all of them are kind of young, sophomores and freshmen, but he's just kind of practiced and just kind of been, we thought, the best guy, and thought that all week. I mean, we didn't really make a public deal about it, but just kind of thought as we went through the week, he got the bulk of the work. And it wasn't like Ed had a bad week, we just thought Trey had it better.
You had a lot of those real, noticeable blown defensive situations this year, and you had another 1 or 2 today. I mean, just talk about how frustrating that's got to be.
That day, one time, they ran just a crossing route where your safety drives them when they're running a post over, and we're just driving down, and our guy took out 2 of us, so we had 3 of us on the ground. And it looked like dominoes out there falling around. So they, of course, got a nice receiver, good play, common play action pass, something we worked all week. That's, just not having some awareness and cleaning it up. I don't know if we had some significant busts or that, and just some very, very poor tackling. And as they kind of blocked its line of scrimmage, I thought they did a really nice job of, when we loaded the box, throwing just quick game. And if we pressed it up, taking fades over top, they played off throwing short stuff, and just with a nice quarterback, just some run pass mix. So they executed that very solid, clean plan. They worked it well, worked us in a good way.
You talked about McNutt. How good is he? What he's like? Number 7 Iowa receiver.
He's good. I mean, there's a bunch of good ones in the. I apologize, I'm not good with all the names. I mean, he's really good. But again, there's a couple in this league, but he's one of the best in the league. He set the all-time record today, which is when you're a part of that with the success they've had and all the great players. I worked a long time with Chuck Long, so I've heard about all his passing records. So anybody can beat Chucky Long's records when Chuck was throwing the guys. So credit to him, but that's a credit again to the quarterback play the last couple of years. And again, he'll finish this year strong for me. Again, as they get their running game going, they'll be a solid, strong team down the stretch because they can throw it well with the QB and with number 7. Hope number 6 is okay. I know I got dinged up. Hope he's not too bad.
Other than that busted coverage, there's a couple situations where he was dealing with single coverage, was just able to kind of jump over somebody. You guys also had a situation against Illinois where Jenkins was in single coverage. I guess is that how much is that usually by design? I guess, and are you concerned about how that's working when you're putting?
Well, again, if we don't load the box up, we're staying blocked defensively. If you load the box up, if you play soft, I mean they were running hitches today, getting 10 and 12 because like one time we're playing off coverage and we don't make a tackle and he gets 14, 16 right in front of our bench in the 4th quarter. So. It's a little bit, again, still execution. If you press it up, you got to play challenge. When you blitz it up, you got to get home. First drive, we blitzed 2 times where we were unblocked and didn't get home. We got caught and we didn't get home. And we kind of had a chance to get off the field, and we kind of, they let them work us. So, again, schematically, we can play soft coverage. If we do, it looks like in the way we're playing run defense, we die slow death. If we want to be aggressive, take some shots, we just got to have some mix and balance. And, as we keep doing things with some young guys, now with the safeties being hurt, we're playing some young safeties. We're just, it's a double-edged sword where as coaches we can do too much and overcoach, and at the same time, if we line up, we would just come sitting ducks. There's a little balance as we move forward, how we keep bringing those guys along and having enough tools in the box. Sometimes you worry about doing too much, you got confusion, busting coverages with guys. At the same time, if you just kind of line up and they get a bead on what you're doing, when they run it good and they got a good quarterback, they're throwing it to a good receiver, then they get their rhythm. So a little bit of a double-edged sword, just kind of where we are with some of that youth back there.
You mentioned the youth. You had Hunter starting ahead of Lawrence Barnett today. Just what went into that? Barnett was obviously starting.
Yeah, I mean, same deal. Just I think just thought speed-wise as we're moving. I mean, I don't think I mean, LB's made a few plays, but consistently has missed some things. Didn't play particularly well last week. Mike's been in the mix, playing a lot, and again, just trying to see keep bringing the young guys along, keep seeing some old guys want to blow up, and keep working to get their game better.
You
How'd
talked
you-
about hitting home on some of those blitzes. Early in the year, we've struggled, at least the team has, with getting home on those defensive back blitzes. There have been coverage was one in the secondary. You hit home on 3 of them today in the second half. Is there anything different you're calling with those, or is that just
I talked to Coach Mallard, and there's a little bit of scheming in the first half, and there's some things to do where sometimes some blitzes are on and coverage and looks, you kind of clean it up and say maybe not. I mean, defenses check as much as offenses. Like you might want to do something, but then when they come out in certain formations, you don't like matchups. So as a defense, they're adjusting a lot. So sometimes maybe there's more blitzes called than we do, but there were a couple in the first half that were clean and should have gotten home and they didn't, and that was a little disappointing. So. And then we complain about the coverage not being there, but when you blitz, you better get home or you better get them out of rhythm. And their quarterback stood in the pocket against pressure, made a couple nice first down shots or first half shots, and kind of haunted us a little bit.
How'd you feel about Roderick today? And
Good. I mean, Colin, I wasn't worried about him. He's played. He was our backup center from the get-go. He was high school center. One reason we moved him to guard, we just thought he was playing better than some of our starters. So for him to come back, the center's got to handle the ball. The guard doesn't. The center's a little more complicated. He's mature. Even though for a young guy, and even though he's a quote walk-on, no disrespect, I'd compare him a lot to Coach Francis. Something he's got a tough coach's kid, or that kind of deal. He's got the right makeup, the right outlook, and even though he's quote the walk-on and undersized, he's going to be a good player for us as we move forward. I wasn't surprised that he played well. I'm more worried about the up here. And I think have Will Maddie. If he's not in next week, I think he's close. We'll discuss that next week. But that being said, and Colin will still play, kicking back at guard. We'll keep Colin moving forward.
Back to Trey real quick. What did you guys do? It seemed like you called a lot of plays that sort of worked for him. I guess what did you guys do with the playbook? What did you kind of, try to
each defense, each defense is different. So how you want to attack it, run and pass. But it was not anything dramatically new from what we did last week. Just maybe some things that emphasized more or less based on his strengths. I think the real key. I thought, like Kofi and Steven ran well. The perimeter play was better blocking and running and catching. The line got a little bit better, so he wasn't playing one-handed after. He had a little bit of help, but it gave him a chance.
Do you guys still keep it with simple with him though? I mean, there's certain things that you kind of not necessarily dumb it down, but
yeah, no. I he doesn't have the kitchen sink, but it's not like he's in. We originally week 1, week 2, we had a list of plays. If Trey plays, here's the game plan. Now we just have the sheet and he's playing it, and we scaled back a fair amount several weeks ago. Offensively, trying to find something to get a handle on, but he's kind of running everything, so we don't change. If Ed would have been there, we'd have ran a lot of the same stuff.
Thanks,
real
Coach.
quick.